Hello friends, this is Raul. So 9.0.5 released today, and with it comes the new Valor system. Everyone's really excited about it. There were a lot of complaints about the gearing in Mythic Plus, and they rolled out a system already, not even waiting for the first 9.1, the big patch. So everyone's really happy about it. But I've been getting a lot of questions. How exactly it works? How is it capped? How does the achievement work? Where do you do it? So I wanted to make a quick video to go over everything that I figured out, the questions that people have been asking, and also go over a little bit of what I would say is optimal Valor strategy so that you don't end up wasting it or making any bad usage of it. So I will timestamp everything in the video if you're looking for one specific thing. But first, I'll just start off talking about Valor. Valor is currency that you can use to upgrade gear that you get from your dungeons. You can find it in your currency tab. I don't think it shows up until you've earned at least one. I've been doing some keys with my friends today just to try it out, and I have 800 Valor currently. It is only usable on gear that is dropped after the patch comes out. So, for example, if you had a nice 210 changeling that you got, or something with leech, or anything like that, you're not going to be able to upgrade that. So you're going to need to farm out a new item, which is very frustrating. If you probably spent a lot of time in Mists or maybe in DOS for the tank trinket, you're going to have to farm out another one, unfortunately. But the upside to that is you don't have to worry about going through your item recovery and looking to see if something that you vendored is something that you need now. I believe it will include gear that you get from the weekly chest, although it does not currently include this weekly reset. So if you get something from the weekly chest right now, you won't be able to use that, but I think you'll be able to upgrade stuff in the future. So you'll see now gear that you get from Mythic Plus. I'm trying to find a piece that I've gotten today. Okay, so this is one that I've gotten today. This belt, you'll see now that it says upgrade level 8 of 12. This means that there is 4 available upgrades that I can do to level it up, and the max level right now is 220. I hope that in a future patch they make it so you can upgrade up to 226 like you can in PvP and Raid, but for now I understand why they maybe didn't want to rattle everything too much. So, great, you can upgrade stuff. Should we just farm out infinite Valor? Well, Valor is actually capped, just like Conquest. You cannot earn infinite Valor. Eventually, you'll hit your limit, and the game will say you cannot earn more Valor. Even if you spend it and you're down to 0, you can't earn any more. The cap right now, as of this day, the first day of the patch, is 5,000. And each additional week adds 750 to that cap. So eventually, your cap will be much higher. Right now, you only get Valor from doing callings and completing dungeons. You get 35 from each calling, which isn't that much considering what you'll see the prices are soon. But you do get 135 per dungeon in Mythic Plus. And now that's any key level. So no matter what, if you do a +2 or a +20, you're getting 135 Valor for that key. That means if you have everything you need and you're only trying to acquire Valor quickly, then you should just do the lowest key possible as fast as possible, you know, like a +2 miss or whatever. However, because you need to farm gear and you need to get new pieces of gear, that new 210 item, you probably should still be doing at least 15s or whatever the highest key level that you're comfortable doing right now. So where's the Valor vendor? So if you go into the room with the weekly chest, you'll see the exchange specialist here, and you'll be able to exchange your Valor for lithium ore, silk. What were they thinking with this vendor? Do not ever buy anything from that vendor. That is not where the vendor is. Let's take our new wandering ancient mount that you'll see everyone running around town in, which is handed out to everybody. I don't believe everybody has it yet. They have to do some weird, like, slow rollout with everybody. So you might not have yours yet, but just check. You'll probably get it within a day or two. And the Valor vendor is on the left side where all the PvP vendors are. And it is actually the same vendor that is the PvP upgrade vendor. And that means that you can also upgrade in the Covenant halls. And I'll show you that one too. So we'll go to this guy right here. Master of Conflict. And now you can see, instead of, this is a PvP item that I have, and I can upgrade this in here. I'm not good at the game, so I can't upgrade this any further. However, you can see here, now you can put your dungeon loot items. You can see how it's grayed out for my old ones. You can put your new dungeon loot items and upgrade them. So now you can see the cost here is 400. I believe, depending on the item piece, it goes anywhere between 250 and 1,000. So if you're not sure how much it's going to cost, you can slot this in here. Every upgrade is the same cost. So whether it's from 200 to 203, or it's 207 to 210, or whatever it is, it's always going to cost that same amount. So once you stick it in, you can already math it out how much it's going to be to get it on that level. So in order to unlock these upgrades, that is based off of your keystone achievements for the season. So there's 3 different achievements. There's all-time 5s, all-time 10s, and all-time 15s. And in order to upgrade it all the way up to 220, you need to have all-time 15s achievement. This is account-wide. This is one of the most common questions. The achievement is account-wide. So if you have all-time 15s on one character and you want to boost up your alt, who, you know, he doesn't have all-time 15s, you're trying to boost up his gear, you don't need to get all 15s before you can start upgrading his gear. You only need to get all-time 15s once, which is great, obviously, for alts. And if you're upgrading this stuff, you know, you probably don't have all-time 15s anyway. So here I will, I'll hearth back to the Venthyr Hall, and I'll show you guys the vendor as well. Guess I didn't think how slow this would be, but we're committed to showing you guys anyway. So every Covenant Hall has a armor upgrader as well. I just showed the one in Orbos because everyone's going to know that one. The Venthyr one is kind of hidden. It'll take a while to get to. You have to take the portal down from the inn. But it is, every Covenant has one. The Kyrian one is in the main area where you do the soulbind stuff. Usually if you go to where the soulbinds are and all the other vendors, you'll find it. The Venthyr one is like kind of an overhead spot. So this guy is, oh no, it's right here. Yeah. You'll see Covenant armor upgrades. That's how you know it's in the right spot. So you can also go to this guy, Covenant Hall, and then you can put your stuff in here too. Okay, so what is the optimal strategy? So now we know what we want to do, but do not just run in and start upgrading your gear. Why? Because this stuff is capped. So you're limited to how much Valor you can spend. So that means you need to spend it on the most important pieces. 5,000, as you can see, this one upgrade is 400. So let's say you had a very low item belt, right? It was at the very beginning of the levels and you upgraded it up. You can spend 4,000 of your 5,000 Valor just upgrading one belt. So you do not want to just use Valor as a means to upgrade all your gear. It's not like PvP works where you can just buy a full set of gear and then or most of your gear and then upgrade it up slowly as you go. You do not want to upgrade lower level gear unless you just, you know, you don't really care as much about the character, or you don't want to, you know, you're not going to get that high on it and you're just upgrading it for whatever to play it out. What you need to do is you need to find the pieces that are most valuable to you. So a lot of the times that's going to be trinkets, because these are trinkets that you can only get from Mythic Plus. You can't get them for raid or anything else. So like a Changeling, for example, or a Hakar trinket if you're a tank, anything like that are some good trinkets. Also rings too, because sometimes certain statted rings are very good for, you know, they have the right stats that your class wants and you can't get those stat distributions anywhere else. Also rings aren't too expensive either. Another one is a weapon. Weapon's going to be really expensive to upgrade up, but if you don't have a weapon, a good weapon, your character's going to suck. That's sort of why it's like that. Or otherwise, just any pieces that, you know, if you have a piece that's 210 or 213 or 207, that, you know, whatever your lowest pieces are, stuff that you want to upgrade as well. If possible, you know, obviously beggars can't be choosers, but you would like to have leech or avoidance on the item. I actually don't even know if anything on my pally has leech or avoidance, but you would like to have leech or avoidance on the item because why not, right? You can farm the item technically infinitely. So if possible, try and wait until you get something with leech or avoidance. Now, you're not going to, you won't be able to find an avoidance changeling or a leech changeling very easily, but maybe let's say you have 2 rings that are close, or, a couple different pieces. Always try and favor the one with leech or avoidance, because that's going to stay on the gear forever, and that's going to be really good if you can get a 220 piece with leech or avoidance. So that basically covers everything you need to know about Valor. Hopefully you won't make any major mistakes on it now. You know where the vendors are, you know how the achievement works. I'll talk a little bit about my thoughts on the system too, just because a lot of people have asked me. I'm very impressed that they rolled it out so quick. Something like a gearing system for Mythic Plus is, it hasn't been in the game forever, since Mythic Plus is in. So it's very cool to see the Blizzard sort of recognizing that Mythic Plus is a thing that people like to do, even if they're not raiding or doing PvP, and having a way to gear up through Mythic Plus is great. However, it definitely leaves a lot to be desired. My example with the belt, how you can spend basically your whole cap upgrading one belt, it's like, well, it's not nearly on par as the raid gear or the PvP gear. If anything, it seems to me like it's catered towards those raid and PvP players who, let's say they need one trinket, right? Let's say you're mainly a PvPer, but you need to get one trinket from Mythic Plus. Well, now you can just get a trinket and upgrade it up, and you don't have to worry about farming hard keys, right? So it definitely leaves a little bit to be desired, but it's still nice, right? We'll take anything we can get in Mythic Plus if they're doing it for us. So some changes I would like to see. I would like to see it go up to 226. And I would like to, honestly, I think the way that it works, where it's a capped number per upgrade, doesn't feel great, because it basically is a waste to upgrade anything that's not 210, right? It's why, if you upgrade a changeling that's 197 item level that you got from a +4, you're going to spend so much Valor upgrading it up. But at the same time, if you're a guy who's mainly doing Mythic Plus and you know what I mean? You need that help. You're saying, hey, the gear from Mythic Plus is bad, and I can't even get into groups. I'm 200 item level, and a +10 drops 200, and I can't even get into a +10 because there are people with higher item level applying. And I would like to see a little bit more care taken into it. Maybe something like, if you're upgrading at low levels, like sort of like how PvP has honor and then conquest. So just for cheapo gear, you can upgrade with honor and it's infinitely farmable. You don't have to worry about hurting the long-term growth of your character when you upgrade some lower level stuff just to help you gear up. But I also understand that, they don't want to make Mythic Plus gear too powerful and farmable. So that covers everything. I hope this answered your questions. I try not to be too rambly, but at the same time, I wanted to cover everything. If you guys have any tips or anything that you think I missed about Valor, or things that you want to let the people know, feel free to drop them down in the comments. I've been slacking a little bit on my videos lately just because I've been playing a bunch and having a blast. So be sure to check out my stream at twitch.tv/yumytv, and I'll be catching up with videos and catching back up with the series that I have going too. So thanks for watching, and happy keying.